Hello, Brandon Lotta here on Methodologies for Online Information Safety. Modern society relies heavily on the utilization of online connectivity. Therefore, it is imperative that all users and businesses alike develop methodologies for protecting information on the internet. Some suggestive methodologies for protecting information online include offline security, online security, device security, and reporting incidences to law enforcement. Offline security involves the operational safeguards, which are policies and procedures developed for handling personally identifiable information. Privacy specific safeguards, which are the specific security controls that are designed to protect the confidentiality of information. And security controls, which are the technical confidential policies and procedures that safeguard specific safety concerns. These controls include access enforcement, separation of duties, where companies enforce separation of duties to prevent personnel from being able to access originating information from de identified information. Least privilege, remote access, where users may be able to access systems remotely. However, it is important to either restrict specific access, encrypt communications, or a combination thereof. User based collaboration and information sharing, access control for mobile devices, audible events, audit review, analysis, and reporting, identification and authentication for organizational end users, where organizations can implement processes that individually identify and authenticate each user before accessing personally identifiable information. Media access, which restricts access to end users accessing information system media that contains personally identifiable information. Media marking, which labels information system media as well as output. Media sanitization, where organizations should sanitize digital and non digital media that contain personally identifiable information before disposing or reusing the equipment, such as degaussing a hard drive. Transmission confidentiality, which is critical and must be properly protected using encryption techniques, such as using a public key infrastructure. And then protection of information at rest and information system monitoring. Next is online security. The best way to protect users and their personal information is to be able to identify impersonators online. These social engineers are searching to steal confidential information, such as banking information, birth dates, social security numbers, names, and a lot more other personally identifiable information. Many impersonators will use phishing techniques to acquire this type of information. This includes what is known as spear phishing, which is more directed efforts of phishing using emails to target people who work for organizations a hacker may be searching to breach. Search engine phishing is another, which refers to scammers who create fake online web pages that wait for people to visit them following specific keyword searches. There's smishing, when scammers resort to using text messaging to reach victims. And vishing, when scammers make phone calls or leave voicemails in the attempt to coerce victims into releasing information. And finally, whaling, which is a more precision developed form of spear phishing that is used to target organizational executives or others with similar value. This brings me to device security. By devices, I am referring to the endpoints that have network access to company or private networks. These devices include computer workstations, laptops, tablets, smartphones, PDAs, or really any electronic device that requires internet connectivity to operate and may have access to these secured networks. This does include the Internet of Things devices. The best way to protect these devices is to use the security controls described earlier in accompaniment with software security measures such as antivirus software, up-to-date system software versions, encryption techniques, multi-factor authentication, and so much more. However, the software programs are essential, but it is critical to protect those endpoints from events that may damage or corrupt the data they hold. This is protected by backing up data on a scheduled regularity. The most important follow-up process to any, and I do mean any, cybercrime related activity is reporting it to the proper authorities. One of the biggest inhibitors with tracking, preventing, and mitigating these crimes is the lack of reporting by victims. Therefore, it is important to know who to report these crimes to. You do not have to call your local police department. They have enough street level crime to deal with already, right? So you submit all cyber-related misconduct to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, also known as IC3. So the IC3 helps to recover stolen assets lost in data breaches, and they also investigate criminals to locate their origins in effort to stop the illegalities. So just as you may report a gun shooting in your neighborhood, you must report cybercrime to the proper authorities for legal assistance. Now, all this great information designed to protect you or your company's information assets online brings me to conclude that regardless of the large masses across the globe that have constant access to the internet, there is a genuine need for online security. The internet is a modern necessity that society relies on for personal usage and business-related operations. There are many ways to protect information from threats seeking to exploit information for criminal gains. Businesses and consumers alike must integrate methodologies to protect personal information online. The primary response to any cybercrime is to report the events to the proper authorities. The best way to reduce criminal activity is to contribute to the detection and prevention of criminal misconduct. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you take away some valuable tools. Cheers.